Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear students. Welcome you all in PIST Virtual Learning Session 2020. Hope you all fine and enjoying your virtual learning classes. So, dear students, this is your computer science class, and for grade first year boys and girls, this is our 21st video lecture, and today we will continue chapter number 5, computer networks. So, dear students, today we will discuss asynchronous transmission, synchronous transmission, communication media, then guided media, and in guided media we will discuss telephone cable, coaxial cable. So let's start with asynchronous transmission mode. Synchronous and asynchronous transmission, basically both are transmission mode. How data communication can possible, how you can send and receive your data. So asynchronous transmission is the transmission of data in which each character is a self-contained unit with its own start and stop bits and uneven interval between them. Asynchronous transmission is also referred to as start-stop transmission because here is one start bit and one stop bit, and between this start and stop bit we have data transmission. Asynchronous transmission uses start and stop bits to signify the beginning and ending bits. The additional one at the start and the end of the transmission alerts the receiver to the occurrence of the first character and the last character. The asynchronous transmission method is deployed when data is sent as packet as opposed to in a solid stream. The start and stop bits have opposite polarity, allowing the receiver to understand when the second packet of information has been sent. The two main characteristics specific to asynchronous communication are every character is preceded by a start bit and followed by one or more stop bit. Spaces between characters are common. So in asynchronous transmission mode, data is transferred. The time interval between two characters is variable, not fixed as shown in the figure. So here we have a asynchronous transmission. Direction of flow is on one direction, and here we have a start bit and stop bit. Between this start and stop bit we have data. So sender wants to send the data. This is the gaps between the bits. So asynchronous transmission, the time interval between two characters is variable and not fixed. As you can view on the diagram, the computer devices can exchange information at their own rate. Slow or fast start and stop bits are used in asynchronous transmission. These bits provide timing synchronization for the connection between the sender and the receiver. The start bit tells the receiver that a character is coming, and stop bit indicates that the transmission of character has ended. This type of transmission is ideal for slow speed communication when gaps may occur during transmission. Example of asynchronous transmission is keyboard data transmission. So start bit, dear students, remember that start bits indicates that the receiver tells the receiver that a character is coming. The start bit tells the receiver that a character is coming, and stop bit indicates that the transmission of character has ended. So in synchronous transmission, the interval between two characters is variable, not a fixed. Variable means that it can vary. The time interval can vary between the characters, and every packet and every data flow have two additional bits every time. So receiver can take the start bit indicates means data is started from here, then actual data, and then stop bit indicates that the transmission of data and the transmission character has ended. So this transmission is ideal for slow speed communication. And the example of asynchronous transmission is basically, you can say keyboard data transmission. When you enter key from the keyboard, that is a asynchronous transmission, and the example of asynchronous transmission. In asynchronous transmission, data is sent in form of bytes or character. This transmission in the half duplex type transmission, in this transmission, start bits and stop bits are added with data. It does not require synchronization. So here, every bit, there is a flow of data, and every bit have start bit, data, and stop bit. Here is a stop bit, here is a start bit. Start bit indicates here your characters and your data will start, and stop bit indicates that here you're receiving data and received data is stop here and here. The next is synchronous transmission mode. The term synchronous is used to describe a continuous and consistent time transfer of data block. Synchronous data transmission is a data transfer method in which a continuous stream of data signal is occupied by the timing signals generated by an electronic clock to ensure that the transmitter and the receiver are in step, synchronized with one another. The data is sent in blocks called frames or packets, spaces by fixed time interval. Synchronous transmission modes are used when large amount of data must be transferred very quickly from one location to the other. The speed of the synchronous connection is attained by transferring data in large blocks instead of individual characters. Synchronous transmission, synchronized transmissions speed at both the receiving and sending end of the transmission using clock signals built into each component. A continual stream of data is then sent between the two nodes. The data blocks are grouped and spaced in a regular interval and are preceded by the special character called sync or synchronous idle character. So here in the diagram, you can check the synchronous transmission mode, direction of flow. Sender wants to send the data in the form of block. These blocks are called frames. So in synchronous transmission, the time interval between two characters is always the same, as you can see on the diagram. In this method, two communication devices are synchronized and they continue to send character in order to remain synchronized even if there is no data to be transmitted. A special ideal character is sent when there is no data for transmission. So suppose if sender doesn't want to send any data, so it will send a special ideal character is sent when there is no data for transmission. It does not require transmission of start and stop bits. It sends data as one long bit stream or a block or a data frame, and each bit is sent one after the other. So it does not have any start bit. You can view on your diagram. It does not have any start bit. It does not have any stop bit. It have a continuous of data without having any start and stop bit. And it continue in the form of packet and frame. That's why it is more faster than asynchronous transmission. A receiver counts the bits and reconstructs the sent information in bytes. It is essential that timing is maintained as there are no start and stop bits and no gaps. Accuracy is dependent on the receiver keeping an accurate count of the bits as they come in. So in asynchronous transmission is faster than asynchronous because fewer bits have to be transmitted. Only data bits and no extra control bits are sent. The best example of synchronous transmission is the data transmission between devices in the network communication. So normally we follow the synchronous transmission. In synchronous transmission, no additional bits are required, no start and stop bits are required. The continuous data can send sender can send and receiver can receive, and it can count the bits and reconstruct the bits. So it is more faster and more reliable rather than asynchronous transmission. So synchronous transmission, data is sent in form of blocks or frames. This transmission is the full duplex type between sender and receiver. The synchronization is the compulsory in synchronous transmission. There is no gap present between data. It is more efficient and more reliable than asynchronous transmission to transfer the large amount of data. So here is a sender, here is a receiver, and sender wants to send the data. There is no additional bits are attached. So only continuous form of data can send to the receiver. The flow of data you can view in the form of blocks and in the form of frames. So these are called blocks and frames. No additional informations are required in synchronous transmission mode. Comparison between synchronous and asynchronous transmission mode. Point of comparison, definition. Synchronous transmission transmit data in the form of chunks or frames. So it transfer data in the form of blocks and frames, and in asynchronous transmission transmit one bit or a character at a time. Speed of transmission. Synchronous transmission, quick. Asynchronous transmission, it is slow. Cost. Synchronous transmission is expensive and asynchronous transmission is cost effective. Time interval. Synchronous transmission constant and asynchronous transmission random. Gaps between the data. In synchronous transmission does not exist. In asynchronous transmission exist. Examples of synchronous transmission are chat rooms, telephonic conversation, video conferencing. And examples of asynchronous transmissions are email, forums, and letters. So these are the comparison between the synchronous transmission and asynchronous transmission. So students, you must remember that. So synchronous and asynchronous transmission basically is a mode of communication, how your data can communicate. And in synchronous and asynchronous transmission, the synchronous is more fast and it can transfer data in the form of chunks and frames. And in synchronous transmission, you can transmit one byte or a character at a time, and each byte consists of start and stop bit. Additional bits are attached with each byte of data. So it is slow, and the synchronous transmission is more quick rather than asynchronous transmission. Communication media. The communication media refers to the means of delivering and receiving data or information. So in generally, if we talk about what is a communication, communication means that if you want to exchange your ideas, exchange of information and ideas are called communication. And communication media means the way of communication. By using any medium, you can communicate your information, send your information, transfer your data to anyone else by using any channel, by using any media. So delivering and receiving or data information. It is a delivering and receiving of your data or information. In telecommunication, these means are transmission and storage tool or channels for data storage. The method or tools in which information can be exchanged and communication can be facilitated. So it is called communication media. Examples include telephone, television, email, websites, video conferencing, and instant messaging, age, and transmission. In the communication process, a medium is a channel or a system of communication, the means by which information, the message is transmitted between a speaker or writer, the sender and the audience, the receiver. The plural form is media, and the term is also known as a channel. So in the start, we discussed about some components of communication and data communication. If you remember that those components was the sender, the receiver, the message, the media, and the medium. Sometimes we can call it the channel. The message is transmitted between a speaker or a writer. It can be a sender and an audience, the receiver. The plural form is media, and the term is also known as channel. The medium used to send a message may range from an individual's voice, writing, clothing, and body language to form a mass communication such as newspaper, television, and the internet. The communication media is divided into two types, guided media and unguided media. In basically network communication system, communication media are the links that provide paths for communication devices. The communication media used to transmit data from one network device called a node to another. There are two main categories of communication media, guided media and unguided communication media. And we can classify this transmission media further in some types. So in guided media, we have coaxial cable, fiber optic cable, and twisted pair cable. Coaxial cable is further divided into baseband and broadband. Twisted pair cable is divided into unshielded twisted pair cable and shielded twisted pair cable. Here we have unguided media. Unguided media, radio waves, microwave, and infrared. So dear students, guided media means that when we have any wired media, guided media means that the wired media, when you are using any wired network, any type of wired is called guided media. Unguided media means that there is no physical medium is present. There is no physical media is there. You can use the wireless communication with the help of different technology like radio waves, microwaves, infrared. So this is unguided media which you can use for the communication. So dear students, remember that the medium is an important component of a communication which is used to transfer your data and message. That is a very important component. With the help of the medium, the computer nodes and the networks are connected with each other. So we can follow any type of cable like coaxial cable, fiber optic, and twisted pair. And we can also use unguided media like radio waves, microwave, and infrared. So this is a medium, a path, a connection between the computers and between the devices and between the node. Guided media. Communication devices are directly linked with each other via cables or physical media is called guided media. Guided media is also called bounded media. The examples of guided bounded media are telephone cable, twisted pair, coaxial cable, and fiber optic cable. So guided communication media is also called physical and bounded communication media. In this type of media, signal pass through a physical path. It uses cables that guide the data signals along a specific path, and we can use different types of guided media like telephone cable, twisted pair cable, copper coaxial cable, fiber optic cable. The first of all, we have telephone cable. A telephone cable is a method of guided transmission for your telephone line. This means it acts as a physical path to transmit electromagnetic wave and carry information from one point to other point. This is done by means of conducting materials such as copper wiring. So telephone cable is a standard telephone cable and it is widely used as a communication lines. Telephone lines are particularly useful to the user of data communication because the complex network of lines that has already been established allows data to be transmitted to any location in the world. The disadvantage of telephone line is that the transmission speed is very slow. Therefore, its use for data communication is slowly this line. A telephone line is, you can view on your screen. So telephone cable is a method of guided transmission for your telephone line. Okay, this is a standard telephone cable which is widely used as a communication line and most common way for the communication. Telephone lines are particularly useful for the users of data communication, because the complex network of lines that has already been established allows data to be transmitted to any location in the world. So this is the simplest way and simplest and the easy way to connect your network with the help of a telephone cable, and the most widely used way. It is a most widely used way of the communication and the most widely used guided media in which you can use a telephone cable to attach your network. So the next is the second type of your guided media is coaxial cable. Coaxial cable is very common and widely used communication media. For example, TV wires is usually coaxial. Coaxial cable gets its name because it contains two conductors that are parallel to each other. The center conductor in the cable is usually copper. The copper can be either a solid wire or a standard material. Outside this central conductor is a non-conductive material. It is usually white plastic material used to separate the inner conductor from the outer conductor. To other conductor is fine mesh made of from copper. Here you can check the simple coaxial cable. Here we have a copper wire, then insulation, copper mesh, outside insulation. Here, this is the internal structure of your cable and the view of your cable. Coaxial cable has two wires of copper. The core wire lies in center and is made of solid conductor. Core is enclosed in insulating shield. Over the shield, the second wire is wrapped around and that too in turn encased by insulator shield. This is all covered by the plastic cover. Because of its structure, coaxial cables are capable of carrying high frequency signals than that of twisted pair cables. The wrap structure provides it a good shield against noise and crosstalk. Coaxial cable provide high bandwidth rates of up to 450 MB per second, megabits per second. There are three categories of coaxial cables, namely RG59, cable TV, RG58, thin Ethernet, and RG11, thick Ethernet. RG stands for radio government. So coaxial cable, it is mainly used for long distance transmission. It can transmit data at much higher rate of 10 to 100 megabytes per second. They are also used by the telephone companies to transmit data over long distance. So coaxial cable, they are used by the cable TV and is common for data communication. Application used by coaxial cable is used as a transmission line for radio frequency. Connector, it is connected with the two connectors. Transmission speed is 1 gigabits per second. The coaxial cable are packed into a very large cable that can handle hundreds of thousands of telephone calls at the same time. So coaxial cable provides high quality data transmission without distortion or loss of signal. Coaxial cable have been laid under the ocean. A coaxial cable is, you can view on your screen, both the telephone line and coaxial cable are made up of a copper. So basically it is made of a copper wire, and most widely and the common way of the cable which we can use to connect over a network. So this is a most commonly used way, and in the network, if you want to make a simple network with the short distance, so and then you can use the coaxial cable. It can further divide it into types: thin net, ethernet, thick net. These are the types of the coaxial cable which you can use in your network according to your requirement. So here you can view the coaxial cable, the internal structure of the cable on your screen. So here center core is here, and then here we have an insulator, then we have a metallic shield, and then we have a plastic jacket. So coaxial cable basically is made of a copper wire. The telephone cable and the coaxial both are the copper wire. They are a copper wire and most common way to connect a short distance network. So used for both analog and digital signals, effectively used at higher data rate and a higher bandwidth. For analog signals need amplifiers every few kilometers. For digital signals require repeater every 1 kilometer. So here you can check the normal view of the cable. This is your coaxial cable and this is the internal structure of your cable, wire mesh that prevents electrical noise near the cable from the referring with the transmission. Wire conductor that carries the actual transmission. This is an insulation, outer wrapping, the rubber wrapping, and inside the outer wrapping and the rubber wrapping, we have a wire mesh that prevents electrical noise near the cable from interfering with the transmission. And here you can view the normal view of your cable. This is the structure of your coaxial cable. This is a copper wire. Then we have conductor, insulation, and then rubber outer wrap. This is a rubber wrap which we can use. And for analog signals, if you are using a coaxial cable, so we can use the amplifier. Amplifier means to amplify the signals, to regenerate the signals. And for digital signals, we can use the repeater to enhance the signals, to repeat the signals. So coaxial cable further can be divided into many and different types. We can use different types of coaxial cables depending upon our requirement and the distance of the network. So dear students, thank you so much. In the next lecture, we will continue this topic, the guided media along with unguided media, inshallah. Till then, Allah Hafiz.